Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, when and wherever you are. Today I'm going to be talking about, as you saw by the title of the video, about the suspension of partial in express mail to be sent through the USA from other parts of the world. A lot of European countries have done it, and it's just a matter of time until all of them do it. Okay, Korea and Japan also have done it. Now, first thing is first. Why has this begun in the last weeks? It's simple. Remember that about 3 or 4 weeks ago, the US suspended or ended the de minimis tariff over low value packages. What does this all mean? This means that before that, little things, like for example, I don't know, imagine a USB or a small package of any kind of food products, for example, something that is very light and very low value. Okay, those packages, like it happens, for example, right here, when I, for example, buy something from inside the Schengen space, or even when I buy something from that comes all the way from China, but that is a low value package, they wouldn't charge you any taxes that are usually those taxes are usually reserved for bigger things. Okay, and in my view, it makes absolute logic. Okay, that for a small thing you wouldn't need to pay any extra taxing, and for a larger thing that involves more effort, more whatever, more space, occupies more space, then you should be, of course, charged an extra tax for shipping that to another country. To me, that is absolutely logical, okay? Because after all, they are providing a service, but they are not forced to provide it for free. You know? This is not how the world works. This is not how life works. But I want to talk about the impact that this will have. It's not the first time I have seen this happening. When the United Kingdom exit the EU, I saw this happening. When taxes began to be charged over small parcels, normal parcels, and then they also began with their famous customs madness that they often suspended because the UK often suspended because they did not have the means or the technology to do it. But I want to talk about you because it's not the same thing. But the practical effect was this: you still have in the UK small shops that sometimes are not even don't even have a physical space. Okay, it's shops that people only have an online representation. Also, here in Portugal, there are a lot of people that do this. Okay, they have their normal day jobs, or maybe they housewives, or not just housewives, of course, but you understand, people that are in their homes and they want to get some extra income and they are working. And for example, some people here they are working, and to make some extra income, they make deliveries, okay, or sometimes they work as Uber drivers or whatever. You understand, okay? This is a type of occupation that you can either do it as a business, or you can do it as a, let's call it, partial business, a way of earning an extra dollar or money. Okay, I know people that do this. Okay, I have a friend. He has a shop where he sells computers, that type of stuff. Okay, and he does repairs and whatever. And he also has an online business where, for example, you can buy things that he has in his shop, and you can also ask for specific items that he, for example, brings in from China, from Korea, from Japan, from whatever, even things like manga magazines and other stuff like that. Okay, stuff that you cannot get here that easy, and he just buys it and he sends it to the shop. Okay, he charges a small commission for his job, but he earns money with it. Okay, and then you in the UK, they had, imagine this. I know the specific case of a person that was talking about it. He had a shop, kind of a delicatessen. He sold specific products. He had a shop. He sold UK products. He sold products from all over the EU. From Portugal, I know that because he told me. From Spain, from Italy, from France, from Germany. He just orders things, but those are the types of things, for example, food that are perishables. So he could never have a large supply of things like that, okay? Imagine, for example, French cheese or soft cheeses, things that won't last long. You understand what I'm trying to say? Okay. So a client would, for example, come to him and say, Mr. X, okay, can you get me some this, and this items because I'm going to have a birthday party this weekend and I need it. Okay? And he would order those items from the vendors in the EU, and the goods would be probably overnight. Okay? It would maybe a day or two sometimes, but sometimes, and I will give you my example. For example, the last time I needed a specific, my hobbies is music. One of my hobbies is music, okay? And sometimes I just save my money and then I buy a specific item that I need to. I repair. I know how to do repairs, so I repair my electric guitars, my acoustic guitars. I have two acoustic guitars, two electric guitars right now. I have an amp. You understand. It's my hobby, okay? Some people save up money to buy, I don't know, to buy a pack of cigars or whatever. I save up my money to, when I can, to indulge myself in these hobbies, okay? And I had to buy a couple of parts for my guitar that is very old. One of them is really really old, an Ibanez that my father offered me when I was 16 or 17, and it has a big sentimental worth for me. Okay, you know how it is. And I ordered some parts from Germany, about, I don't know, early this year. Early this year, I think about January and February. I ordered them directly from a German shop because even with the posting, the post costs, okay, of them sending me the thing, it cost me around, I don't want to lie, but the total value of the package was around 32 euros. And if I had ordered it here in Portugal, if I could find the specific items that I wanted, I think I would pay around 35 or 34 euros. Okay, so I ordered it from Germany, and they didn't even charge me the package because of the value of the pack of the thing, and I just paid around 30 euros or something like this, and it was literally here overnight. I did that delivery. I placed the order. I think it was a weekday. I think it was Monday, or no, it was later, Wednesday. I put the order Wednesday, and the next day I had the postman was knocking at my door and delivering the good. just like that. And sometimes it takes a bit longer. Okay, it can take 2 days. I think the usual maximum time is around 5 days, weekday, 5 weekdays. Okay, but it usually takes around 1, 2, 3 days, no more. And in the USA, oh, let's end this part of the UK. So that the gentleman, he could simply order the things that he needed. For example, we are talking about cheeses for a birthday party. Okay, he could order those cheeses in that day. Of course, his vendor would have to say if he had the product or not. And those, if he did it, for example, in the morning, in the afternoon, the vendor had already sent it to the UK. And during the other day, the goods would be there, literally, or perhaps a day or two, like I was telling you. When Brexit hit, that was over. And what I'm trying to tell you is that now, in the UK, in the US, sorry, you are going to have a similar effect, but multiply that by 100. Because imagine this, you are a business owner in the US, and you know that you cannot ask for a small part. Imagine a computer shop. Okay, you need to repair the computer of your client, or your client asked you for a specific item that you need to order from, for example, Korea or Japan or China or Europe. You need to order that part from there. You cannot order a single part. You have to wait until you have enough parts to justify an order, that then you can pay the tax and receive the goods. Because number one, the state is going to charge you the extra costs because it's all over. And secondly, the other countries right now, and this is what a lot of countries are doing. I know in Europe, I know of Germany, France, Denmark, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me and fact check me, okay? Because I read this and I decided to make a video about it, okay? Sweden and Norway, if I am not mistaken, okay? Right now, what they are saying, and Japan and Korea, right now, what they are saying is this: we will not send small parcels to the USA, meaning, and I think Korea also registered international mail. Extremely serious, mark my words. And what they are saying is we won't send parcels to the USA. Why? Because of all of these little things: the extra taxes, the extra bureaucracy, the non-linear sending of packages, the lack of common sense. Okay, and so they simply do not want any added costs to their business. So they just say to the client, no. Why? Because the client would go to the postal service, for example, and say, I want to send this little package to the USA, or I want to send this little letter to the USA. And then it would arrive at the USA. The USA would charge that taxes, and then the postal office would have to notify the client, and the client would have to go to the post office to pay the taxes, so that the services, for example, in Korea, would send the money or pay the costs to the US to the US company, US Postal Service, sorry, so that the US Postal Services would deliver it to the client tender. And the final client in the USA would have to pay the costs of the original sender, and perhaps they didn't do it, and the original sender and the postal office would have all of those costs on their shoulders. And I wonder, I really wonder, why would you do this to your own country? Because this means all of these countries now, they will not supply with goods. I know there are a lot of shops that are doing what, for example, we did here in the EU. In a lot of shops, I know a couple of Portuguese shops that did it. When in relation to sending packages or selling to clients from the UK, some of them were quite quite blunt. They simply said, "We do not sell to the UK." Simply that. Okay? Or the ones that had the technical capabilities to do so even cancelled uh, the access from people from the UK to their online services, blocked that country. And others simply said, for UK shipping prices or whatever, or shipping sales, see this, and you would go there. I know. A friend of mine did it for an item that I'm not going to divulge, of course. This is not the place to talk about those that things. But and he told me, okay, that the price that he had to pay was approximately double the price he would pay if he was, for example, buying the same thing from France or whatever. And this is exactly what's going to happen to the UK, US. Right now, they are already saying bluntly, no, we won't ship to your country. They will only ship large packages. So, but even that is in danger. Mark my words, even that is in danger. So you will have in the US, like that person I was talking about in the UK, you have, for example, a small delicatessen that sells cheeses and cold preserves and cold meats and olive oils and sardines, for example. And to tell you the truth, I am worried because there are a lot of Portuguese shops that are going to go under. Portuguese supermarkets, for example, there are still a couple of them. They are going to go under. They are going to disappear because some of them, the one with a larger capability to buy things, they would will be, and as long as Portugal ships it, and as long Portugal ships it, because I don't know how long this will. To tell you the truth, I heard about them going. They were going to cancel it too, but I did not investigate it because I need to look into it. But if I happen to look into it and I see that Portugal also is not going to ship anymore, I will make a short video and talk about it. Okay, but all those supermarkets, those little ones, they will simply disappear. You won't have those products. You won't have anything of the sort. The larger ones, okay, they will be able to, for example, pack a carrier, a cargo something. You understand what I'm trying to say, okay? They will be have enough uh, sales to justify, for example, sending a cargo with olive oil, with sardines, with all of those products that are popular. Okay, they will be able to do that. But those small shops, like for example your corner shop delicatessen or shop or whatever, a smaller shop, or those people online that sell those products to clients that only have the online shops. And I know that in the US, just like here in Europe, there are a lot of shops that exist solely online. Okay, people run them from their homes. Okay, they have a space or whatever. They pre-order the goods that people want to buy them. Then they order them, they receive them, they send it to their customers, and then they charge their commission, and that is their profit. Those people won't be able to eat the costs. And some of them will actually not even have access to the goods to sell them, not even in bulk. Okay, because imagine this: you have a shop and you sell cheeses. You just have that shop online, and then you list the countries where you source your goods from. You cannot, not right now. Before that, you could buy, for example, a small portion of cheese. They would send it, and you would not pay an extra tax for it. Okay, and you would just have to charge your little commission. The client would have his little cheese, and everything will be all right. But from now on, no. And in the future, who knows what will happen with the actual shipping of cargo to the USA? And I'm just talking about Europe, okay? But you guys in the USA, you have supply chains, sorry, that are dependent in the entire world. In South America, Canada, Mexico, Europe, China, Japan, Korea, and I don't think you even have the capability. Sorry, my little kitty. I don't think you even have the capability to source all of those goods inside of your country. There are things you simply will not be able to do. Like the video of the farmer that I told you, you don't even have the necessary manpower to work, for example, in the fields. And I heard a very racist comment, but I'm going to talk about it, that they were expecting for black people to take the place of the Mexicans in the farm. I cannot understand this mentality. I honestly don't understand how you can say such an outrageous thing. How can you have such an outrageous idea? Because let me be clear, okay? Working in a farm is an honorable job. It's a job. But we know why they are doing this and the connotations they are putting on it. Are they going to force black people back into the fields? Are they going to reinstate slavery? Do you think this is normal? Are you going to enslave poor white people too? Are you going to force the homeless people that they are removing from the streets of Washington? Are you going to force them into re-education camps and do like the Nazis did, that they took all the jobless people from their cities and put them on working in farms and working in roadworks, practically like slave jobs, slavery, modern day slavery, just calling it another name, calling it re-education. Do you see the connections? These connections, honestly, they scare me. Scare me in the sense they worry me. Because, and I think in people in the USA, you should also be very worried about this because these are little tweaks they do, but those little tweaks produce an effect that I'm absolutely sure those that implement them know their outcome. Meaning, you need a new external drive. You won't be able to order that from Korea, for example. Only if you order an entire box of drives, of external drives, sorry, external disks, sorry, external disks. And who the hell has the enough money to order that entire box of external disks and then just for one disk that he needs? or she or whatever. This is, in practice, this is killing businesses, and it's killing the ability of people to source things that they need or they want from outside of the USA. And I see a lot of YouTubers talking about a lot of things, but about this, I can count them in the fingers of my hand. I don't know if it was so discreet, but this started to happen around a month ago, I think. And now it progresses. And I think people should really get worried about it. You talk with your congressperson, whatever, because, but even if you do something inside of your own country, I don't know if it will have any practical effect. Now, thank you for watching.